I wish you a pleasant rotation around the sun, dear humans. Today, we, or better, I, the artist, am going to draw Geiru Toneido from Ace Attorney. But I'm also in charge of the design, so don't be confused in case it looks a bit different from the usual fan art. But I just purely do whatever I please. Or however I please. I'm sorry, English is not my first language. Little disclaimer, I never played or watched a Let's Play of Ace Attorney. I'm just purely doing this for the hype and the trend in order to gain a little bit of digital affection from strangers on the internet. Well, as sad as that is, that's exactly the reason why I will be talking about nothing else but, design choices and my personal nitpicks with the design and as you might have noticed by now, she will be a lizard person. Everybody who isn't in on the joke, go to my DeviantArt, there you will find the reason why I'm a bit obsessed with lizard people as of lately. Well, you probably realize all of those reference pictures of those lizards have one thing in common. They show them legs, sexy legs. Anyways, I noticed, basically, lizard legs aren't that different, to human legs compared to horses or cats or other creatures like birds. Anyways, just like us, they have just one knee, but their feet are interesting. And in theory, I would do something with their feet, but the thing is, she's wearing those gorgeous pink heels, and I really want to keep those, so nothing with the toes this time. So, but the thing is, what I noticed about these lizards is those knees are very bendable, and they have them thick thighs, which is the reason she is going to be thick. Well, if you are really smart bean, then congrats, get a cookie. You noticed that her balloon, which is definitely not a penis innuendo, looks a bit weird. Yeah, congrats. I noticed, I'm not too incompetent to draw balloons, especially such a simple shape. That looks weird on purpose. Yeah. More on that later. Well, anyways, you remember when I mentioned that I'm in charge of the design? Yeah, you will also notice I'll do something weird with her eyes, but that will be explained more in coloring. I'm pretty sure I'll have nothing really to talk about during the line art part, since, it's line art. That's basically like the sketch, but cleaner and sometimes with extra steps. Well, you remember that little joke with lizard people? You should check out on DeviantArt, which I teased, I think, at the beginning of this video. Well, let me explain. Well, I'm in a little theater group, and we are that kind of theater group, we write our own characters. And I wrote a character who, apart from many other things, has a little fetish for lizard people. Except for the Nazi ones, those are nasty, because the play we wrote last was about an apocalypse, and she's a survivor of this apocalypse, and if I would well, it's part of her backstory that a lot of conspiracy theories are true because she's a conspiracy theorist, and I just thought it would be funny if she had a little fetish for lizard people. So we also had to craft a lot ourselves for the stage. So I created and printed out a lot of, posters, like these fetish posters, but with lizard people. And yeah, since then I kind of, kept that pattern a little. And well, I thought drawing Geiru Toneido, or however her name is pronounced, as a lizard person would just be funny. Also, I drew clown lizards before, because apparently clowns are actually a fetish, so it's just my thing now. Well, see you in line art! Well, something of the line art which you probably already see is, okay, apart from the fact that I still had to fix something from the sketch, well, I add a lot more details. For example, that little, what's it called? The little thing with the wings from the shoes. I also added on her collar, out of the simple reason, well, that I think there are a lot of details which don't exist on her outfit. Well, let me explain. The thing is, a lot of clown outfits have lots of frillings and, what's it called? Quillings and ruching and frills and whatever it's called. Well, her outfit doesn't have that. I don't know why the designers chose it to be like that. They had their reasons and I accept it. But here's the thing, I'm in charge of the outfit, so she gets a lot of detail. Well, I also gave her a little clown hat because something that kind of disappoints me with her outfit, well, it's still beautiful, but yeah, it's literally like watered down. When I look at her outfit or at her original design, she feels more like a person who commissioned a dress from a cosplayer, but is literally the first time cosplaying and literally doesn't know shit about the clown makeup, for example, or in general, kind of just added a nose so she kind of goes through as a clown. I suspect the designers chose it that way so people who suffer coulrophobia can still play that game without, getting a panic attack, which is fair. It's just a suspicion, and as I said, they might have their reasons, but I have my reasons too, so yeah, I will change the whole thing a bit. I changed the whole thing a bit. Another thing that I noticed about her outfit, it kind of looks inspired by Lolita fashion. Everybody who knows me from Instagram knows I love dressing up in Lolita fashion, though I break a lot of rules out of the simple reason that I don't have Lolita shoes yet, and I'm literally just a beginner, but I'm a big admirer of Lolita fashion, so yeah, that's another reason why I add a lot of quilling. Yeah, I wanna give the whole thing a bit more of a Lolita look. I think the most notable quilling that I added is on her gloves, because in my opinion she needs that now, and the stuff on her collar. You'll also notice the thing about, the little spikes on her tail, the spinal spikes, as I love to call them. Yeah, a lot of my lizard design have really pointy, like sharp ones that look a bit like the teeth of a saw. Well, yeah, that looks cool, but it also looks a bit edgy for her design, so I made them round for her design. Because I think that looks cute and adds a bit more to, yeah, well, a bit to her childish and petite design that I kinda ended up giving her. Because in my opinion, that's kinda how her original design translates into my really original lizard design. Yeah, I'm cringe. Well, I know that her original design is not like super petite, and yeah, she looks actually a bit. Wait a second. Well, her body design, features, and proportions actually look pretty average compared to a lot of other anime styles, which is okay again. But yeah, the thing is, what I find is funny. Well, as I said, I don't know the most other characters of Ace Attorney or the character designs, but I think it's funny because a lot of people give clowns or clown girls especially a very childish design and also very childish proportions with like huge eyes and stuff and a small mouth, but her body looks in this anime style actually pretty average, like a grown-up person. That's actually nice, and yeah. And now it's time to talk about the infamous shape of the balloon. Well, my headcanon is that lizard people sometimes shed their tails, just like normal lizards. But when they do, they don't just, I don't know, let them lay there or just throw them away or burn them or anything. No, my headcanon is that they use them in order to scrape out the leftover flesh in there and in order to eat it, and then end up using the skin to make stuff like balloons. Yeah, I know. One penis innuendo for the other. Fun fact, there actually exists a little species of lizard called the shingleback lizard. It lives in Australia and its tail looks just like its head. Also like a little version of a man's anatomy. Google it, it's really interesting. Well, for the coloring job I tried to keep her colors like the original. Well, that's actually when I noticed, for example, those rainbow parts. For example, like a color, my favorite word today. Like the rainbow parts of her whole outfit, they are actually surprisingly muted. Just like the main pink of her dress, or her top, you know. This is actually where I understand a lot of people who draw fan art of her and actually, you know, use their own colors or don't exactly pick the colors from the original art. Like, that's actually totally understandable. Also, something that I didn't include in the sketching part or the line art part is that I'll give her stockings. She's getting stockings. The thing is, like, I think she needs them, very simply. The thing is, she has those small little rainbow parts and she has so many beautiful details in her outfit. And then there are suddenly her legs, and then that's like nothing coming for a while, and then there are these shoes. These really cute little bumps. Well, that's why I think she needs socks. one of the things that kind of makes me sad in this case is, like, there are so many creative ways of wearing socks in the clowncore fandom. Like, there's so many different socks, and a lot of cool clown outfits actually go crazy with the socks. Like, everybody who knows me knows I love my stockings, I love my socks. I'm passionate about socks, so the least thing I can do with her legs without straining too much from the original is give her some nice rainbow socks or stockings, that her legs aren't too bare. Because that's one of the aspects that makes her whole outfit look more like, a beginner cosplay, or like, literally just half-assed, is that, there's just a dress and nose, pumps, that's it. I mean, it has, actually, it's a pretty creative outfit in a way, but then again, it really looks just half-assed. Nothing against the creators, again, they will have their reasons, but that's kind of what it looks like to me. And here's another thing, I noticed a very, cutesy, innocent, like angels and rainbows and clouds theme with her outfit. Again, I don't know how it ties into her character, I never played the game, but I kind of wanted to do something with it, so I created kind of a pattern for her skirt there. You will see. Yeah. I kind of wanted it to give it some sort of touch, or the thing is, just her rainbow stripes look a bit boring as a main pattern, and the ribbon and those wings are cute and all, but it just needed some more. So I went a bit nuts with it. Also, about the lizard part of this fan art, well, when I typed in Geiru Toneido as attorney, there actually popped up a screenshot from the game where she removed her wig, and then it showed her original black hair. Well, that's actually the reason why her little spine spikes, her little round pearly spine spikes, are black. And somebody who knows my lizard designs knows that one of my main things with lizards is they have a main color which can be as bright as I want to or as dark as I want to, but most of the time the spine part or the spikes, they're just a darker shade of it. And since her spikes are supposed to match her hair, because for my lizards the spine part is what's basically the hair color, well, I thought I'd give her scales also a darker color. And the black color is also where her eyes come in. In her original design, her eyes were like this black or gray. So since most lizards, especially my lizard designs, have like really bright eyes, and I usually go nuts with the eye color, I thought, let's go nuts here and like give her like dark contacts or like make her eyes like completely demonic black. I thought that's fun and cute, honestly. And speaking of her eyes, that's actually where I wanted to talk about her makeup a bit more. Her makeup is one of those details where I think they didn't do much because they didn't want to trigger some sort of colorophobia in some players of the games, but that's also where a lot of missed opportunities are. So with her makeup, I didn't stick to original colors, I literally just used what I thought looks good on her. And the thing is, you will see in the beginning I will try to whiten up her face a bit, and that's because if lizards in my universe are clowns and they have like a bit of darker scales, they usually try to lighten up their face so people see their emotions and mimic a bit better. But then I realized, am I stupid? Her lips will be a bright shade of orange, I think. Her eyes will be too. They will be light green, and well, her nose. My lizards don't wear like these honk-honkies, like big, massive noses. Like, I just don't think that fits on their snouts. Also, if you look closely on my other clown lizard designs, you will notice they have painted on little colorful dots or hearts or stars like little ornaments. I think the female lizard had it on, I think, her thigh, and the male lizard had it on his chest. And I think that was another thought of mine. I thought it would be cute if lizards would also paint on fake scales and cute shapes in order to appeal, I don't know, to children. I just feel like if lizard people would be a thing, that would be a sort of aesthetic. So yeah, I kinda included that with those colorful freckles. Also a bit of blushing, looks cute. Also, for her lips, for example, I just picked up the original colors of the lips and then toned it up a bit so it looks like actual clown makeup, because I still kind of want to stick to the original as good as I can, but do it my way, you know? And now for the background. If you're wondering, well, sometimes I draw backgrounds before I do the shading because there are days where I don't know what I want for the background, or yeah, I want the shading on the character to be one specific color and I want it to blend well with the background, so sometimes I just do the background first, however I feel. Especially when I want to make up in my mind first where the lighting is coming from and I didn't decide before, and you know, it would be frustrating if I did like really complicated shading and I put a lot of effort into my shading and then I did the background and decided to randomly throw out the background. Oh well, lighting from the opposite direction would look so aesthetically pleasing, and then I turned on the shading or the character again and noticed, oh shit, I have to redo that. Yeah, that would be uncool, so sometimes I do the background first. From the beginning, when I tried to picture Geiru Toneido in my head as a lizard, I already wanted it to be a bit more fantasy and cute and yeah, literally like looking like a video game or anime character in a lizard realm. So I kind of wanted a bit of a kawaii Candyland kind of feeling, but I talked about her angelic pure rainbow and, you know, her angelic and rainbow theme, how I pointed that out before. So yeah, I think the only thing that really reminds you of a Candyland in the end is the giant lollipop I put in the background. But otherwise I kind of wanted it to look like some sort of a cutesy kawaii anime limbo or afterlife or heaven. Yeah, it was made for children in Japan. Okay, I've never been to Japan and I don't consume media for children in Japan, but you know what I mean. It has this classic like gothy manga style. I kind of like manga in this gothic or Lolita style. Yeah, so basically I wanted the whole thing to look a bit artificial and really stylized and glowing and innocent. Oh my god, do you know what I actually thought of when I designed this? You remember Just Dance? We have Just Dance for the Wii, I don't know which part anymore, but the song Love You Like a Love Song, what dumb title actually, but this one song, I don't know from whom anymore. I will probably put a picture here, but this whole sequence of the dance from Just Dance, that's actually what inspired me a bit. You will see why when I put a picture here, but yeah, that song actually, I had an earworm from it when I designed this, so yeah, main inspo here, ne? Well, so that in the background, this was in the beginning supposed to be cotton candy, but it's actually more like clouds, so it's kind of a candy heaven. Okay, and now we are finally at the shading step. Let's talk about the line art again. The thing about the line art is, from the beginning I wanted it to have some sort of color, like pink, I actually wanted it to be pink from the beginning, but my personal problem with colored line art is either every single area, like the hair or the skin or the eyes, have their own color, like the art style of My Little Pony, 4th generation, not the other trashy ones. Now that I think about it, I think generation 2 or 3 also had a similar style, but the 4th generation made everything better, so the others don't really count. But the thing is, you understand what I mean. When you have a really bright color as the line art, but the character or the object that line arted has some darker colors in it, it looks weird to me. That's why I ended up with a really dark shade of pink. Which is no problem, I still think it looks gorgeous and adds a bit to the drawing. But yeah, that's kind of why I think really bright colored line art only works with really pastel motifs or really pastel art styles. But I wanted to include it here as well because I wanted this whole artwork a bit pastel-y, or at least the background. I wanted the background to be all sweet and cotton candy and fluffy and rainbowy and all that shit. And the character is like really bright, like really popping out. I think I added a little rainbow trail to the background, which is also very color intensive. I don't regret it. I mean, yeah, it pops with the character, but it's also a bit of a... I once learned in art class that you can actually compose a drawing or portrait in order to guide the viewer's gaze. And I think this way kind of guides the viewer's gaze into the background, which I still put some effort into and which I am still very proud of. How I put the colors and stuff, and that's why I think the way is the path is a pretty good idea. Also, I didn't want the path to be straight up rainbow. I just picked some colors that I thought, I mean, they're still in order, but I thought to pick some colors that are kind of contrasting to the already pink floor would be more fitting. Now about the actual shading. I usually start with colors like black because, I don't know, I used to shade with black, but I always made sure it doesn't look like crap. Believe me, I know when it is able to look like crap when you shade with black. I saw some, I did that too. Don't wanna play the innocent one here, but I saw a lot of, beginner artists who did that. Yeah, and it looks like a really shitty old Barbie movie. Good, they were good for their times and they were on a budget, but still they were like, I don't know how well the 3D animation technology at that time was, but I know with Blender today you can actually control what color the shadow on your object is, or how and which colors the shadows fall actually. I know that you can do it, but it's still not a reason to draw completely smudgy black shitty shading on your character. That's why a lot of people actually use dark blue, except for me this time I used pink to go with the whole cutesy, kawaii, fantasy flair. I just dyed the black shading pink later. Actually, I'm glad I did, because let's be real, this also adds a lot to the really matted and grayish and really tired looking pink of her dress, like the top of her dress. It just looks so tired to me without any shading or light effects. Speaking of light effects, yes, you can actually see in some of my other art I use different lighting as well, not just this type of lighting where I just draw a white line or a white dot and then then copy that layer and just, yeah, and then dye it in a different color or put different colors there, and then, you know, like blend it and then put the colored layer behind the white layer. And yeah, I usually use that technique when I want to make skin look wet, or when I want to make something look really rubbery or plasticky. It's a great technique to have like really straight white lines that have this sort of effect. I actually noticed that in hentai they do something similar when they want to shade tits or other parts of the body they want to highlight as wet or oily or anything else, or like draw really smooth skin. I don't know. Also, do you like the little rainbow effects I put into her eyes? Yeah, I thought it would be cute and a bit of a, and would give her completely black demonic eyes something cute or something to look there. Also, I added some sparkles to her shoes, but you can't really see this in the finished product. Well, I hope you like my little rambling and talking during drawing. And yeah, I hope you liked the whole video. It's my first time making this type of video, and I definitely want to make more in the future. That's why I would really like some rational and, you know, neutral criticism. I would really like if you would leave a criticism sandwich in the comments. In case you don't know what that is, that's basically good criticism, then some bad criticism, all your bad criticism, and then the other half of the good criticism. So yeah, that would be nice, so I can improve, of course. And yeah, I'm sorry for any sort of low quality. I hope you like my design. Check out my other social media because I'm much more active there. Definitely check out my sexy lizard gallery on my DeviantArt or my Redbubble. In case you wanna wear those sexy lizards, I actually put merch. I put them on merch, except for Geiru, because putting fan art of characters that are not mine on merch, I don't do that anymore. I did it once with the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but just because I'm really proud of that one, and yeah. But other than that, I usually try not to put any strange or any characters that are not mine on merch, out of the simple reason that, yeah, it just doesn't feel right. But I hope you like my stuff anyways. I hope you had fun during that video. Yeah. Bye!